Hey guys, welcome and welcome back. You know what time it is? It is time for Proverbs chapter 29, our daily wisdom dive. Now, you know how frustrating it gets when you try to give somebody corrections and instructions over and over and over again, but they're just so stubborn that they refuse to take correction, they refuse to listen, they refuse to change. This is who this chapter starts off talking about. It tells us there is no hope for a person who is so stubborn and stiff-necked that they don't change or they refuse to listen even after you've corrected them multiple times. They choose to continue in their rebellion and disobedience for as long as they can until the day life actually tumbles in and they break. Then it's too late to help them at that point. But a person who's actually willing to listen and apply correction and instructions, they make others happy. No one is above learning through correction and discipline. Wise discipline brings wisdom. Now, a disciplined child is a delight to live with. A child who lives and loves in wisdom makes his father glad. But the child who is left to himself and always gets what he wants, all he does is bring shame. And then he ends up wasting his wealth when he chooses to hang with loose women and others of low character. Now, speaking of low character, be careful of the friend who seems to flatter you and give you praise and compliments excessively, because they're usually up to no good. They're not doing it because they want to please you. They're doing it because they want to actually deceive you and take advantage of you. An evil person will get trapped in his sins and his wrongdoings. But good people sing and rejoice. They actually understand and care about the rights of the poor. But a wicked person, he doesn't have the slightest idea what the rights of the poor is, because it just doesn't serve his self-interest. Now, mockers set a city aflame. They cause trouble and make bad situations worse. But wise men, they turn away from anger. They actually calm things down and bring peace. Now, although a wise person in most cases always brings peace, the one time that there will be no peace when it comes to a wise person is when you put a wise person and a foolish person together in an argument. The fool will always ignore logic and fairness, and he will either rage or laugh, but they will just never agree. All he wants to do is just vent about his feelings because he thinks everybody is interested in his feelings. But a wise person knows that there's a time and place to actually vent his feelings, and he holds them back. A wise leader pays no attention to lies because he knows if he does that, then his servants will see that he's easily influenced by lies, and they too become encouraged to lie as well, creating an atmosphere that is poisonous and incompetent. The servant and the leader, they're both alike, they're liars, and you can't trust anybody. And in an effort to try to get them in their rightful place, words alone will not discipline them. It will take more than mere talk to keep them in line, because although they hear what you say, it just goes in one ear and straight out the next. They're not going to answer or respond. A king who avoids partiality in judgment and actually treats everyone fairly and equally, including the poor, he receives authority and respect. Now, although you want to be kind to your servants, don't go pampering them, because otherwise it makes them become attached to you and it makes them uncertain as to their obligations. Am I your servant or am I your son? Now, this next verse is something that I'm sure you've either said yourself or you've heard quite frequently, but I'm pretty sure we've used it in the wrong context. And it says, where there is no vision, the people perish. Usually we use that verse to apply to writing our own plans and our goals in a way to encourage us to have plans. But what it actually means is that where there is no divine guidance and revelation from God and His Word, people go wild and they're unrestrained. But when we actually keep God's law and His Word, we are blessed. Now, verses 25 and 26, they spoke directly to me. I swear, if they were written in today's age, they would have my name stamped right next to them. In essence, it says being too concerned about what people think instead of being concerned about what God says is a dangerous trap. It cripples you, because when you become overly anxious about not offending someone else, it puts you in a compromising position where you're no longer walking in your truth and doing what is right, because you're now looking to fit in and avoid unpleasant consequences. But when you put your trust in God and God alone, and all you're concerned about is what he says and not what anybody else thinks, you'll be safe in the care of a loving, powerful God. You will no longer be in bondage, but you'll actually be free. So that's my quick rundown of Proverbs chapter 29. Let me know what stood out to you and join me here tomorrow where we take our dive into Proverbs chapter 30. Bye, guys.